Good morning. Today is Tuesday and it's April 23rd. So we're going to do Proverbs 23 from the New International Version Bible. These this chapter consists of the sayings, is a part of the 30 sayings of the wise. They started in chapter 22 at verse 17. They actually continue through the whole chapter up until chapter 24. And this is Solomon who wrote this. And fun fact, Solomon was one of the wisest men on the earth. He asked God for wisdom specifically, which I feel him on that because, too many people before his time, it appears they were not operating in the spirit of wisdom, or they weren't caring for the spirit of wisdom because, like, definitely, the spirit of wisdom would have helped them not end up in the situations that they ended up in. And for a long time, I used to think that common sense was common. Yeah, no, it's really not. It's actually expensive and it's something that everybody can't afford because everybody ain't got it. I noticed that. I used to think because I thought a certain way that a lot of people, mhm, I think everybody, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. So now being offended and things of that nature, no, because everybody don't think like me, so we're not built the same. I knew it. Mm. When you sit to dine with the ruler, note well what is before you, and put a knife to your throat if you are given to gluttony. Like if you feel yourself over consuming, stop it and stop it. Because that's what gluttony is, being greedy. Mm. So there was a saying that used to get said when I was growing up, talking about your eyes are bigger than your stomach. I wish I had the proper knowledge at that time to reject that curse that was trying to be placed upon my life, because it could have been rejected, renounced, and denounced in the name of Jesus. But because I was a child and lacked knowledge, that verbal curse was placed into my life, along with other seeds that were placed into my life, which actually contributed to my obesity in my minor years. But that's another story for another day. Do not crave his delicacies, for that food is deceptive. Do not wear yourself out to get rich. Do not trust your own cleverness. I'm telling you because, in reality, when we kick the bucket, we cannot take none of this stuff with us, whether it be money or the material things that we buy with the money. So what sense would it make to literally wear yourself out to get rich for something that you can't even take with you? And with what? Mm. Cast but a glance at riches and they are gone. for they will surely sprout wings and fly off to the sky like an eagle. Mm. Do not eat the food of a begrudging host. Do not crave his delicacies. Wow. Tricky, tricky white boy. One thing about the enemy is he will definitely try to tempt you and mock you when he knows certain things. Sweetie, your little musty tactics are ancient. Oh my goodness, I am so glad the microphone did not pick up that gibberish. You know they cutting up outside right now, but I didn't have to go outside right now, so I'm upstairs. Yeah. Mm. I be checking the thing to see if the see if the noise got picked up. Do not eat the food of a begrudging host. Do not crave his delicacies, for he is the kind of person who is always thinking about the cost. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. You will, you will vomit up the little you have eaten, and you will have wasted your compliments. Do not speak to fools, for they will scorn your prudent words. I am telling you. That's another thing. I'm telling y'all. Listen, I feel myself losing a brain cell with you, or my breathing starting to change because you're about to frustrate, irritate, or oppress or depress me. I gotta go. I gotta go respectfully. Like I love everybody, love piece of hair grease, but babes, may have to love me more to put me first. You know what I mean? Cause it's not that. See, okay, let me backtrack this because I don't want nobody to think, you know, this is in reference to me trying to be selfish, and I don't even want to promote selfishness because that's not cool. We're not supposed to operate like that, especially like if you're trying to be a follower of Christ. No, operating in selfishness is not it. However, there are certain instances where that isolation is needed. That, yeah, because being around the wrong people too long and it keeps purposely sowing the wrong seeds into you, it can either take root or blow in the wind, depending on your level where you're at mentally and spiritually, will determine what that seed will do. If it's going to take root or if it's going to blow in the wind. Now, what do I mean when I say this? Okay, so by the seed taking root is you being offended by it, marinating on what was said, and like really dwindling on it, versus it blowing in the wind is like you not even taking offense because you see past the physical. You understand that the principalities we're fighting are literally spiritual. So it's a spirit operating behind that vessel that's even trying to get you out of character, right? Once these things happen and you don't let certain events and people and etc. get to you the way they used to get to you, that now becomes the seed blowing in the wind and not even taking root. Because the seed that was planted was a seed to get you either frustrated, irritated, you know, oppressed, depressed, stressed, angry, anything outside of the fruits of the spirit, pretty much. For those wondering, the fruits of the spirit are actually in Galatians chapter 5. We'll go over there after we finish this because we're like kind of almost done. But let me get back into this because we're on saying 11. Do not move an ancient boundary. Do not move an ancient boundary stone or encroach on the fields of the fatherless, for their defender is strong and he will take up their case against you. Talking about the Lord, and that's a fact. Apply your heart to instruction and your words. Yo, if it's not one thing, it's another. Apply your ears to words of knowledge. Do not withhold discipline from a child. If you punish them with the rod, they will not die. Punish them with the rod and save them from death. So, guys, this is the third time. That's a confirmation because one thing about my daddy is something about him in threes. Hmm. So let's see, right? Because right here is saying 13, it tells us, coincidentally saying 13. Wow. Do not withhold discipline from a child. If you punish them with the rod, they will not die. Punish them with the rod and save them from death, right? And then if anybody remembers in 21, what that was, verse, it's 21 and 22. Yeah, because 6 and 22, 6, it was like start off the child in the way they should go. And even when they are old, they will not turn from it. But no, that's not. Mm-mm. I can't even see it right now, and I don't want to get too distracted and sidetracked with that. But it's the third time in a row, so that's a confirmation. Mm. Mm. Interesting. My King James. Come here, King James. Mm. Ah. Right, because in chapter 20, in verse 11, it says, even a child is known by his doings, whether his work be pure and whether it be right. And then in 21, what was that, 22? All right, you know what? That's okay. I understand what's going on right now. Last night was a long night and I had a little whoopsie. So it's just stuff designed to try to get me off my game. Nonetheless, let us get back into it. Ooh, wait till I tell you about the movie I was watching last night. Baby, yes. And this movie has 3 parts. And this movie was so good. It was worth watching all 3 parts. But I'm going to get into that in a second. Hold up, hold up. Where we at? Right, saying 13 about the don't be scared to spank them babies' butts. Right. Okay, so now let's go to 14. My son, if your heart is wise, then my heart will be glad indeed. My inmost being will rejoice when your lips speak what is right. Do not let your heart envy sinners, but always be zealous for the fear of the Lord. There is surely a future hope for you, and your hope will not be cut off. Listen, my son, and be wise, and set your heart on the right path. So next month, guys, I think I'm gonna, graduate those who are still sticking around and switch us over to the King James next month, and maybe do like May King James, June NIV, July King James, like that. I may flip flop it back and forth, but yeah. But next month for sure, we doing King James, cause King James, baby, come on, yeah, King James. We gonna King James it next month. Listen, my son, and be wise, and set your heart on the right path. Do not join those who drink too much wine, or gorge themselves on meat, for drunkards and gluttons become poor, and drowsiness clothes them with rags. Well, in rags. Listen to your father who gave you life, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Buy the truth and do not sell it. The father of a righteous child has a great The father of a righteous child has great joy. A man who fathers a wise son rejoices in him. I'm just like, my mind is halfway gone right now, guys. So don't even. May your father and mother rejoice. May she who gave you birth be joyful. My son, give me your heart and let your eyes delight in my ways. For an adulterous woman is a deep pit, and a wayward wife is a narrow well. I'm telling you, because to have a wife who's just want to be here, there, and everywhere, shaboinking any and everybody, bro, for that, just don't even be a wife. Just don't. Like a bandit, she lies in wait and multiplies the unfaithful among men. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has strife? Who has complaints? Who has needless bruises? Who has bloodshot eyes? Those who linger over wine, who go to sample bowls of mixed wine. Do not gaze at wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it goes down smoothly. In the end, it bites like a snake and poisons like a viper. Your eyes will see strange sight, and your mind will imagine confusing things lying on top of the rigging. They hit me, you will say, but I'm not hurt. They beat me, but but I don't feel it. When will I wake up so I can find another drink? That was the end of Proverbs 23. So the movie I was watching last night, y'all, He's All That Matters. I originally meant to watch that movie when it first came out, but because of the things that was going on with me spiritually at that time, I couldn't, right? I finally got around to it last night. Boy, 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 boy. Yeah! That movie did not disappoint. Ah, stop. The husband, God fearing, you know, good man of God. loved his wife, had a good wife, God-fearing woman, praying and all of that. And there was this lady who, you know, her life wasn't going the way she wanted it to go. And she seen that pastor guy and his wife, and they just looked so happy and so in love, and she wanted to ruin that. So she decided to find out as much as she could about him, introduce herself to him with some gibberish story. She actually went to a voodoo priest to get a voodoo ring to do voodoo charm on him, right? Now keep in mind, y'all, this is a man of God, and his wife is a woman of God, right? This man was not smoking, he wasn't drinking, right? But coincidentally, the enemy still was able to access him with him being a man of God. Remember the other day when I was telling you guys about unforgiveness? Literally. Okay, so keep that in mind, right? Unforgiveness. Boom. Okay. So, the lady, she ends up with the voodoo ring. Because, okay, the way the ring worked was she had to touch him with the ring, right? And ask him for money. So his money had to touch her hand and the ring had to touch him. So once this took place, she gave him some boo boo story about back rent, jabba dabba da. So once this took place, she collected the money. In the process of her collecting the money, the ring touched him. Once it touched him, he became bewitched. So now he's under the spell of whatever she say. Boom, right then and there, the lady had the man under her spell. She caused this man to have a whole affair on his wife, take care of her kids that she had, and do a whole bunch of other stuff. Now, mind you, she herself was married, and her husband were a bozo couple who decided to scheme and scam people out of money. Because prior to them plotting on the pastor, the wife, um, they would go to like bars and the wife would hook up with married men, sleep with them. Her husband would fake catch them and be like, "Oh, if you don't give me some money, I'ma tell your wife that you cheating with my wife," type. Like, yo, this stuff is deep. Y'all know I'm linking the movie and the thing, but right. So, and remember I told y'all it's 3 parts, so you gotta watch all three to get all of this. But anyway, so ay, 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 ay. I really don't want to tell y'all the whole movie because I really want y'all to watch it, and it's a really good movie. But in case if you don't have time to watch it or you just want a brief briefing of the movie, this is it, right? So the husband of the wife with the charm ring, right? Her name was Talua. So Talua's husband pretends to be her cousin and calls the pastor's guy's wife to tell her about her husband sleeping with his cousin, which was technically his wife. And she's like, "Yo, how you know this? I don't believe you. Like, you gotta show me some type of proof." And he's like, "All right." So he took her to the crib that the husband was with the lady Talua, and yo, she seen it and whatnot, and yeah. So boom, she's praying, 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 not zapping out. Because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like the me now, I can see where she's coming from. Yo, the old me, my. I probably would have ended in jail or something. But anyway, she's praying, 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 right? And giving it to God, trusting God. And it's like, It's hurtful. Yo, it's hurtful. But she's praying, praying, trusting God. And lo and behold, because of her prayers, it kept wearing off the effects of the charm ring to the point where she had to keep going to get different rings. Then it got to the point where the rings just stopped working altogether, and the veil that was placed over his eyes to deceive him was removed. So he was then aware of the plan between Talua and her husband and what they was doing to him, milking him for his money and stuff. Y'all, remember I said unforgiveness, right? Boom. So with him being a pastor, not smoking, not drinking, not cursing, living a upright life, because of the unforgiveness he had in his heart, the enemy had access to him. That's how the charm was able to work. This is a very important factor because I tell you guys, you know, once you give your heart to Christ, for real, he's going to reveal these things to you. Like, see, had his heart been given to Christ and he genuinely focused on working on his relationship with Christ, he would have forgiven his mother mad long ago. Because, mind you, the lady milked the man for 8 years. Bro, I'm not finna hold you. I'm not finna hold you. The first time she found out, because they plan was they wanted her to zap out. They wanted her to leave him. They wanted her to do what the old me would have done. But she stayed loyal to God. It wasn't even her husband. You know what I mean? Because at that point, she took her husband out of the equation and she made it solely about Christ. And that's what a lot of us, that's where we go wrong at. That's where we make left turns at. We focus on the person and the situation too much instead of focusing on Christ. Like, y'all, this movie is so deep and it's so good. I really want to give y'all the kicker of who Tallulah really was, but I want y'all to watch the movie. So I'm not even going to tell y'all. I told y'all what I told y'all. If you are interested, I'm linking. I don't know if I want to link all three in the description or just the first one. Cause I don't want to link all three and then y'all watch the first one and then have to come back to the video for this. You know what I mean? Cause worst case, if I'm not mistaken, once you watch the first, in the suggestion, it'll suggest the second one to you. So you can just go like that and then watch the last one. But I'm gonna link the first one for sure, for sure. Y'all, I love y'all so much. I really did not mean to go over this long, but it is what it is. Listen, we love you guys. Please, every day, let's repent, give thanks, because every day is a gift, right? Give thanks. Ask Him to search our heart. Make sure it's clean and cozy in there. If you have not accepted Him in your heart, please do so. The sooner, the better. He know what you're doing and what you're not doing. Building your relationship with Him. Definitely, please work on that. And baptizing, oh my gosh, my friend, we was talking about it yesterday, and he mentioned baptism, and I'm like, how did I even forget to even mention this to you guys? Like, and John the Baptist was baptizing people. Like, we mentioned this in Matthew. Getting baptized is essential to us being born again, because that's how we become children of God, by being born again. But guys, because it's not even safe for any and everybody to lay hands on you. And the more I'm being exposed to these corrupt fake pastors, absolutely, baptism, absolutely. Just be mindful of who's baptizing you, right? Because here's the thing, you don't need somebody demon filled baptizing you because it's not even gonna do anything. So, yes, please. We will have to be baptized, right? And being born again. That's how you, because see, being born again, that's, okay, so when you accept Christ into your heart, letting Him renew your mind, your thinking, your way of being, that's you being born again. With this, you build your relationship with Him. Please build your relationship with Him because it's not going to make sense for you to give your heart to Him and, put on this front and all it is, but not build a relationship with Him. Because now you're going to throw yourself into the category of like that, the Pharisees and stuff. You don't want to be like that. And don't get too focused on, stopping certain things. Like, now, don't get me wrong. The Okay. mm, Sexually related sin is the one sin that we do that is against our own body, right? So that if you are in any of that, that's going to be like the first thing that conviction will hit you in, right? Conviction will hit you in your sexual lifestyle. So if you're not feeling any conviction as far as in that department, then it's a strong possibility that maybe you didn't even give your heart to Christ for real. Because, like, yo, He's gonna convict you with that. But understand this too. There's still roots to that because that is still technically a tree, guys. But understand, building the relationship with Him and focusing on Him is how you can address that these are trees. There are roots to these trees that He has to dig out, right? Because, like, okay, um, mm, so masturbation, because I gotta be mindful. Masturbation, was something that I don't know how was introduced to me at a very young age, and it was something that, like, yo, I used to literally be addicted to it to the point where, like, sometimes I would do it like maybe 4 or 5 times a day. It was like really, really bad. But thank God He delivered me from that. And, after being delivered from it, it was like sometimes it'll happen a couple of times after, but it wasn't as much and it wasn't as frequent. And even though it was something that I was delivered from because of abstaining from actual sexual activity, it's still something that at times resurfaces. Okay, you know what? That's actually like a different vlog. This is a testimony and it's meant to help somebody, but I don't need no wrong I don't want the wrong to be taken from this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna split this up. Let's put a pin in that, right? Because that was my testimony. This is a testimony moment. So we'll put a pin in that and I'll make this separate. Anyway, like I said, the distractions are just out of this world. If they're not in the physical, they're happening in the mental. Guys, when I tell y'all, mm-mm-mm-mm-mm, get thee behind me. Because at this point, come on, somebody got to get helped and saved. A lot of people. Listen, it's a root to that tree because that's a tree. That is a tree. It's a root to it. So until the root is literally discovered and dug out, there's a possibility that tree can always grow back. Yup. And every time it do, anytime it do, just repent, turn from it, and do your best to abstain from it and restrain from it. Yeah. But into it, we love you guys, and we hope you have a good day.